This is Bobby Dupre, alias Santa Claus today, that time of the year. Anyhow, this is the Bobby Dupre Show along with my sidekick here, Matt LeBlanc. And December the 2nd is going to be the big Santa breakfast where we have been very successful, thanks to all of the volunteers who do the cooking and the serving and everything. The location is donated free to us. Indian Hills Country Club, the Lee and Shirley Young family, Troy, does so much work for us, getting everything ready that day. And goes on, but most important is all of the contributions, the checks that we receive every year. And the last 3 years, you all have reached the $50,000 mark. And at that point, I donate another $5,000. I start off with donating $5,000 to get it started. And then I'll give, if you all will give the rest of that $50,000, I'll give another $5,000. So we ended up the last 3 years probably around $57,500, which they are very, very satisfied at the Cerebral Palsy Clinic. These are very special, special children. I mean, you'd have to see some of these children, and it's amazing the difficulties that the families have, and they love those children just like the normal child that probably they also have in their family. But this one child comes out, and you've been filming it every year for me. And I'll tell you this, at the Christmas party for the children. We do the Christmas party the day prior to. This year, December the 2nd, will be the date of the breakfast at Indian Hills Country Club. And the day before, we have the party for the children. And you've filmed all of those. And
I tell you that there could not be a better cause. There could not be a better way for you, or a better place for you to make donations.
And for those of you that never heard the story before, every dollar that we raise, every dollar, there is no expense charged to your donations. We know of no other that has, and this is our 12th annual, and we've never had an expense charged against your contributions. So please keep that in mind. These little children, and another big feature, the clinic is about 60 years old. They have never charged for one treatment.
That's right. That's what your donations go to, are to pay for treatments. To
pay for the treatments and pay for the upkeep of the building, and we have the therapists, necessary expenses. But there's no slushing, there's no trips taken on the expense of this fund. This is a well-managed company. We want to refer to it as a company, clinic. And I don't know, I get so excited this time of the year. Don't let Santa down now, please. Keep those checks rolling. Andrew will have your invitations out in the next few days. And we try to do it about 2 weeks before, so everybody is fresh in their mind. And they're calling, they're checking. We're still having it the first Wednesday. We have held every one of them on the first Wednesday of December. And it's kind of the beginning of the Christmas season in the Opelousas, Acadiana area, because we have them coming in from Lafayette, Ville Platte, Eunice, all over. The Stemmons group come in from Karen Crow, and it's amazing at how many people come. We serve, last year I think it was 440 breakfasts in a 2-hour period, but we have little elves out there serving. I mean, when you walk in and you get your seating, you're going to have your food brought to you immediately. And you want orange juice, you want whatever, coffee, and what's the orange juice and the mimosas. The mimosas.
Yeah,
you can get a mimosa. I mean, Community Coffee sets up a real nice display of their coffees, and all of that is free. All the food is donated to us. the chefs donated, and we have a picture. Let's show a picture of our...
Like you said, I mean, you're not just giving a donation, you're getting something back, because they got chefs there from the Palace, they got chefs there from Piggly Wiggly, they got chefs from Swallows,
Steamboat, the warehouse.
Steamboat, everywhere. And speaking of Steamboat...
Prejean's, the restaurant, Karen Crow.
There's a whole bunch of celebrity chefs there, and they make a great breakfast. I can attest to that personally.
Ray Bello been helping out.
Can't forget about Ray.
Yeah.
Can't forget about Ray.
Closed his restaurant, but he didn't close Santa out.
That's right.
Still helping Santa.
That's right. Now, talking about chefs, let's remind you about the Steamboat Warehouse over in Washington. I'm trying to get to it right there. There we go. Steamboat Warehouse over in Washington. Don't take that yet, Dylan. I'm working on it. Make sure you go over to Steamboat for some great food. We're going to show you a picture here. That's what I'm working on. You went over to Steamboat this weekend, was it?
That's correct. Sure did.
Yeah, so make sure you go and see them, and just see Chef Jason Hugay for absolutely wonderful menu, beautiful ambiance. You can see the interior of the place here. It's just a great place. The tables aren't close together. It's nice. You really enjoy your dinner there.
The gentleman is Ron DeBlanc. He's a nurse at Lourdes Hospital in Lafayette, and Ellen DeBlanc. His wife is deals in antiques, and one of her locations where she, I guess, shows some of her antiques for sale is LaBelle Antiques and Appraisals, and she's also a certified appraiser. And I met them, of course, at the Steamboat Warehouse after Mass on Sunday. Vicki and I went and had delicious meal, and we were sitting next to them.
Yep. And I guarantee you will not regret your experience over at the Steamboat. So go visit them over in Washington, just north of Opelousas. Give them a call, 826-7227.
And at the Steamboat also, when we walked in, was Mr. Jeff Bernhard from Palmetto, Louisiana, along with a young lady, Linda. Linda told me, she said, "You should remember me. I was a secretary at Joe Callahan's office when he was in Opelousas, Louisiana." I said, "Good morning to you, Miss Linda." And then, of course, the father from the Immaculate Conception Church in LeBeau always meets Jeff. And I kidded Jeff. I said, "Cost you a lot of money to have your lunch that day." And he likes that. And father said that he'll be attending the 125th anniversary of the church, the Holy Family Church that I attend when I'm in Natchez. On the 22nd, that's Sunday at 3 p.m. They're going to have, the bishop will come in from that area and bless the church again, and it's going to be a beautiful event, and I plan on certainly attending, because I had a little bit to do with the remodeling of the church, and they did a beautiful job, and I love the congregation. And Father over there, he's about a 6'5", white-haired Irishman, and it's a predominantly black church, but he fits right in. They love him, and we love them, and everybody.
Common interest.
Yep, God.
That's right. That's all that needs to be in the center.
In the center is God.
Now, another celebrity chef that you have helping with the Breakfast with Santa is Chef Joey Quibido. And Joey Quibido, of course, you know, is tied in with Piggly Wiggly. Kevin over at Piggly Wiggly in Opelousas. There's two locations. One on the north side is the Piggly Wiggly, but on the south side, you can visit them at Cash Savers Grocery. Now, Cash Savers is a new endeavor for them. They got a whole different pricing structure there. Basically, they sell everything at what it costs for them to get it. Now you ask them how they make money doing that.
They add 10%.
They add 10% when you check out. That's it. It's a very simple solution. So all you do is you go in, you pay for a gallon of milk, what they paid for a gallon of milk, and when you check out, they'll just tack on 10% of it. And I'll tell you what, you can save a lot of money over at Cash Savers. Or if you're on the north side and you want to go to the Pig, just do that. Go to the website, gotothepig.com, and it'll tell you all the specials they have there also. There you go.
And Simsport.
And Simsport, that's right. Can't forget about Simsport. They have another location in Simsport.
starting to get kind of warm with this outfit. The second quarter, we're going to do away with the.
We can't have you all hot and bothered.
Ooh, it gets warm in a hurry.
Yep.
And I want to apologize in advance. A lot of people said, "Oh, you look so good. It was nice talking with you at the day of the breakfast," and it's just a blur.
Well, so much.
I never stop.
So many
from
people.
The time I walk in.
Yeah.
I'm taking pictures with a lot of the, particularly the grandmas and grandpas. They bring the little grandchildren to take a picture with Santa, and it's just a beautiful time. And it's just a big blur. It's about a 2.5 hour blur.
But it goes by so fast.
So fast.
Everybody. Good company, good food.
And everybody came there for one reason. They want to donate, and they want to enjoy themselves, and they usually sit in the same table year after year.
That's right.
You probably have noticed
same
that.
Thing. Yep, sure
so it's really good. But we need some new dollars. Show them where they can mail a check.
There you go.
All you got to do is make your check out to Breakfast with Santa. And if you can't come, that's fine. But donate, please. We need some more new people to help us out. Acadiana's been a good area, and I'm asking you to write a little check, $25, $50, $100, whatever you can afford. Don't make it hard on yourself, but help Santa and help those crippled children. I mean, they need this so bad. And as I mentioned, every dollar goes to the cause, to the clinic, and these children are special. When we say special children, they are special.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is it about time to take a break?
We can, yeah. I know you want to get out of that suit.
Yep, I want to get out of the suit, but I want y'all to remember Santa, please. Get those checks going. And those of you that have been donating, we have your invitation along with your tickets within the next few days. Welcome back to the second quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, also being Santa Claus in the first quarter. And we're back to kind of cooling. It gets mighty hot with that cap on your head and then the big heavy jacket. But it was all worth it, because I know some of you planning on writing the check. If you don't know the mailing address or any question, on your screen right now, on your television or your cell phone or your iPad, your computer, whichever way you're watching the Bobby Dupre Show, P.O. Box 70, Opelousas 70571. And we'll take it in any amount you can send to us. It can be $5, $10, $25, whatever. We'll be more than happy, and the children will get the benefit of your generosity.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We have a couple of...
Sure. Let's talk about a couple of our good sponsors. Let's talk about Dixie Storage, located in Opelousas, Washington, Port Barre. Dixie Storage, for all your storage needs. They can store anything you need to store. It doesn't matter if it's a boat, if it's a trailer, if it's small, if it's large. They can store it all. Climate controlled. They have any kind of unit you need. They have over 1 million square feet of storage combined. That's a lot of storage.
A lot of storage.
That's a lot of storage, 1 million square feet.
All
and they're constantly
on good dry concrete.
That's right. That's right. So Dixie Storage, for all your storage needs, give them a call or visit them in Port Barre, Opelousas, Washington. You can visit them online also too, dixiestorage.com. Now, also in Opelousas, I want to tell you about Carl's Thrifty Way. Carl's Thrifty Way is not just a pharmacy, of course, for any kind of pharmacy needs you may have. Carl's will take care of you, and they'll take care of you very well.
Even
great, knowledgeable
compounding.
staff, even compounding. One of the few that still do compounding.
Right.
Or that are equipped to do compounding. Carl's Thrifty Way, great staff, very knowledgeable, very helpful, very friendly. But while you're there, especially with the holiday season coming up, they've got an incredible gift shop. You can visit their gift shop and you can get anything from wall decor, shoes, glasses, jewelry,
Christmas
earrings.
decorations are in, and Christmas gifts. You'll walk out of there with at least one gift. I can guarantee you that.
It's great stuff. It's great stuff. And the best thing is they gift wrap it for you.
And
so
good
if you're
pricing
like me,
too.
Oh, it's great prices. But if you're like me and you know you don't know how to gift wrap something, and you go buy your wife a present and you don't want to wrap it in duct tape or something like that, they can make it look really nice and it looks like you did it yourself. Well, it doesn't look like you did it yourself. It doesn't look like you did it yourself, but you can tell them you did it yourself. They won't believe you. But anyways, Carl's Thrifty Way. Go see him for both gift and pharmaceutical needs on 2961 South Union in Opelousas.
Talking about a drugstore, a pharmacy, there was a nice article in the November 9th. That was this Monday. On the Eat, Play, and Live section of the Acadiana Advocate. And 911 is no joke. And they have a song that was made by a rap group out of Baton Rouge, a hip-hop group. And what they're trying to remind us is that you're talking about the #1 preventable disability worldwide. And we're talking about strokes. Did you understand me? It's the #1 preventable. But you have to take care of yourself, and I'm going to give you some hints on what to do. It says every 2 seconds someone has a stroke. So it could be any of us. And they give you some suggestions on the #5 cause of death in the United States. Stroke kills about 129,000 people a year. That's according to the American Stroke Association. And you can get partial paralysis, vision problems, loss of speech, and other impairments. All of you have met someone probably in your family, an aunt, an uncle, or cousin, or a member of your immediate family, a mama or daddy. While older people are most at risk, anybody can have a stroke. Stroke does not discriminate. It's a bad thing. How can you see if a person you're in contact with, what would be some of the things you would notice that are not normal? Face drooping. If one side of the face droops or goes numb, it may be a sign of stroke. The person can feel those himself or herself. Arm weakness, one weak or numb arm may signal a stroke. Speech difficulty, slurred speech, or loss of speech, bad speech like me. That's occasion.
That's not a stroke.
That's not a stroke. Not yet. And time to call 911. Call for help immediately. And keep track of the time you called and you noticed the first signs of this. It's very important. Maintaining a healthy weight and watching your important numbers, blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, can help lessen your risk. If given hospitalization within 3 hours, there's medication at most hospitals that you can take a shot and prevent most of the symptoms I just gave you of the paralysis, slur, the mouth drooping. Most of that can be prevented. So it's very important. Let's just say it only takes you 30 minutes. It's just that much quicker. They can give you that shot and probably prevent a lot of the paralysis and all that goes with it.
The name of the game is timeliness. And notice learn how to recognize it
and recognize it in yourself
quickly.
And admit it. If you think you having one, don't think twice. Call 911 and get to the hospital and get that treatment. And good time to talk about seatbelt activation. As soon as you get in your vehicle, before you even start the engine, buckle up. Accident after accident after accident. If you read them like I do, I read about the accidents 9 out of 10 times. It looks like if there's 2 passengers in the vehicle, one has a seat belt, the other one doesn't. The one that doesn't have it gets either hurt very badly, and a lot of times they're killed. The other one, minor injuries. The seat belt protects them. No matter where you're sitting in the car, you're supposed to have your seat belts. It also pertains to the back seat passengers. For years, it didn't require that, but today it does. Your back seat passengers, they like to tell you how to drive. Back seat drivers, well, they have to buckle up and quit the leaning over and telling you this and that about it. They need to be strapped down.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the newer vehicles, even when you get into the passenger seat and they take off, it'll beep and drive you crazy until you put that seatbelt on. That's a good thing.
That's the good thing about it.
That's
Anyhow, I'm excited. I'm excited to help these children as Santa, and I'm excited if we can help prevent one bad stroke, one bad paralysis, we've done our job for the day.
Absolutely.
You agree with that, my helper?
I agree with that 100%.
Okay, all right.
100%.
Let's get back on to the
you're
program.
talking about Santa. You got a picture up here with you in the Santa suit posing.
Yes, and that's Miss Charlene Manuel. That's Mr. and Mrs. Bill Manuel's daughter. Mr. Bill opened the carpet land years ago, and that's her dad. And she was at Swallows on Mondays while we were taking the pictures and having lunch and all for all the people who do the cooking and preparing and line up all the help that it takes to deliver the food to the tables and all. And Charlene was with her cousin, Vicky Artigo Chalette. And of course, she lives on Herbert Artigo. That's her daddy's name, in Washington, Louisiana, right out of Washington on the Grand Prairie Highway. So anyhow, Charlene took a picture and sent that to her children immediately. She lives in Texas.
And while you were there, also you had a group shot of all your chefs from
previous years and back again. They all volunteer. Everybody volunteers again. So you wonder why it's so successful. It's because we have it down pat. And
there it is right there. I don't know why it wasn't coming up, but yeah, there's your group group shot.
That's our chefs right there, and all of our helpers.
And man, that's a celebrity lineup. That's a lot of good cooking going on there.
Yep. Ernest on the left with the Prejeans. Ernest Prejean is his name.
That's
at
right.
Prejean's restaurant. Joy, Troy. Community Coffee, and Clark is his last name.
And every year?
Yeah, but this is his first year. This is a change.
Community's there.
Yeah, community. Oh yes, yes. Mitch Olivier. What is that? Kevin Doucette and Charles.
Charles Going.
And then Santa's big helper all the way on the right standing, Andrew Guitros. Go ahead, Andrew. And then on the left is Belinda. And if you all have any questions, call Belinda at 948-5058. That's that number we've been showing at the bottom of the screen. And Belinda would be glad to help you, and that she'll be receiving the checks. Andrew has another job, so we've taken a lot of those responsibilities out and bringing them back to Santa's office. And then Santa is, next is Annette.
Yeah, Annette Briscoe.
And then Santa, and then Gwen Frugier, and Beth Swallow Dinner Club. And
playing host there.
Yep. And anyhow, it's the same group. There were two missing, and that was Chef Jason, Hugh Gay, and of course, he's kind of in charge, but he was on the phone with us, but he had that big
he had an event
dinner,
the night before.
That night.
That night, okay.
Monday night.
He texted me that morning.
He has a big event every year, and it's got something to do with wine.
Yeah.
It's got something to do with wine, and it's very successful.
Yeah.
And he had a packed house again, a sellout again this year.
That's
and
great.
then Ray Bello was hunting, and when I called him to make sure he was still out there hunting, he was skinning. I think he had killed, not he, but the group had killed 3 or 4 deer.
You got to check on
and he was working hard. So, Chad, if you're watching the program, your daddy was busy. Chad, I don't believe Chad will buy that story. That's a story I'm giving y'all. Okay, I want to talk about a man who always doing for others, seems to be anyhow, and I'm speaking of Keith Hebert.
Yes.
Keith Hebert takes care of the mail-outs and the lining up of where the next monthly mass will be held, reminding us probably 4 times each mass that we have, giving us instructions on how to get there, what time to get there, who the priest will be. And now, every year for Thanksgiving, He is collecting donations to provide a Thanksgiving Day meal to the racetrack workers at Evangeline Downs. As you well know, time to time, I mentioned that I attend the chapel service on Tuesday afternoon at 6 p.m. on the backside. Well, that's the same people that Keith is trying to help right here. And Keith, if you're listening to the program, call me up and I'll get you a check written and you can pick it up at the office. Just a guy that just does he never stops.
A really good guy.
He works, he has a job, he's got a family, but he sure does donate a lot of his time, and time is money.
He sure does.
So Keith, keep up the good work. We love you, and people like you are the reason that I think we all enjoy living in Acadiana.
Right, inspiration to
There's
others.
a Keith in every community. Yep. Lafayette has several of them because of the size. Eunice has them, Ville Platte has them, Sunset has them, Morgan City has them, New Iberia. You know who I'm talking about. In your area, there's one or more. And a lot of times it's a he and she, you know. It's not just men. Also, a lot of ladies do a lot of this donating.
That's right. That's correct. Well, we got a little bit of time left. You want to show a couple of these pictures?
Yes, we do.
All right. Let's talk about, let's pull these guys up right here, huh? The brisket basket.
Okay. And the brisket basket is on North Market Street, just past the railroad track. When you cross the track, you're going to have Acadiana Tire and Trailer Service, and then almost next door, one or two houses separating it, it's going to be the brisket basket. And Wilfred Kennison holds fort there, and these are the chefs, the cooks that prepare and wait on you, and it's kind of all family. And the food is delicious, and he's got a room that's decorated for LSU, for UL, for Southern, Grambling, and the Saints.
There you go.
Each room is decorated according to the school colors. And look at a brisket basket on the rooftop.
That looks good.
He just...
You know, you can't go wrong with brisket.
He's a retired fireman. Wilfred is just such a good person. If y'all can help him, please do so. I'm kind of begging, kind of like I beg for the kids. Well, he's invested everything he's got, to be honest. I feel that way. He didn't tell me that, but I can tell that the money he has spent, we need to help him. Go by. The food is delicious. I had lunch there with Dirk Boudreau, and when you can get a plate of food for Big Dirk and it's all he can eat, you will serve some good, delicious food. And
like I said, you can't go wrong with brisket. That's some good stuff. And I'm sure
he's got
other
barbecues and hamburgers and steaks and the whole 9 yards.
Well, great.
Full restaurant.
Great. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a quick short break, and we're going to come back with the second half. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the third quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, and you might see the American flag waving here today. And of course, today is Veterans Day.
That's right. And
the program is being taped on Veterans Day, Wednesday. We try to mention it one time during the program that we do pre-tape the program. So if you'd happen to call and want something in tomorrow's program, it'd be a little bit late unless you got us during the program. We'd try to work it on in, because we don't have any definite format that we follow. Can they tell that? Maybe they can tell that.
Well, I don't know. A lot of times they think we're live, because I know on Thursday morning my phone goes off, and you know, the governor and everybody's trying to call in and get on the show.
That's right. And it's been pre-taped. We're sorry about that, Governor. And talking about that, we're going to soon have a
oh yeah, you got a race. What you call that?
Election?
Well, election, but a special election.
Well,
or is
it's
it considered
a regular.
it's a runoff.
It's a runoff between John Bell Edwards, and we have an invite here for you. Come and meet our next governor, and that's this Friday, November 13th, starting at 6 o'clock, and it's basically from 6 to 8 p.m. And we ask you to be there on time so that you can see him. He's not going to probably be able to stay too long because he's needing to be in so many different areas. But this invitation that you're seeing here is for Acadiana, 9 parishes. There's some people that are helping get the word out in 9 Acadiana parishes to come to Opelousas at the event center at Evangeline Downs. Then after the program is over, we're going to have food and stuff like that too. But if you want to go to the Spotted Pony,
Yeah, the Spotted Pony.
the new restaurant, fine dining restaurant at the racetrack casino. Or if you want to play the slot machines, you can play the slots.
All there for you.
And quarter horse racing is taking place at the same time. So there's a lot of events going on, and you'll get to visit with the next governor of Louisiana, John Bell Edwards. And things are looking good for him. He led in the first primary by a considerable amount, 40% of the votes to 23% for David Vitter, his opponent. So you can tell who I'm for. John Bell Edwards. Had an interview last week. Those of you that watch the program regularly, you saw that, and I had an opportunity to tape him, and very helpful. This young man here in the picture that you're looking at right now is Shane Riddle, and he hails from Abbeville is where he lives. He works with the Louisiana Association of Educators, and he was out placing large 4x8 signs, and this is a lot that I own right off of Judson Walsh Drive and the old Sunset Highway there. And then I have
Another
a picture of me next to the sign, and that was this past Friday. And in fact, I'm going to be meeting with Shane around 1 o'clock, 1:30 today to put another sign at another location that I have. We put one out on 182 at Megan Drive, the subdivision, that big 9-acre tract that sits open, and we'll put one right in there. Looks real good right there. Good. So anyhow, if you haven't made up your mind and who you want to vote for, I suggest that you consider John Bell Edwards, a very fine guy. We're talking about a veteran. He is a veteran. He was a Ranger, Army Ranger, which that says a lot right there. He's a West Point grad. Not too many West Point grads. I know one other one, Willie Gotcho.
Willie Gotcho, that's correct.
My partner's Joe Fred's son. And so anyhow, enough said. Help us if you possibly can. John Bell Edwards, and I think that's number 5 on the voting machine.
Okay.
Okay, you have one more sponsor?
Yeah, let's talk about LHC Group, Louisiana Healthcare Group. It's all about helping people. That's their motto. Louisiana Healthcare Group is involved with anything medical, of course. They're located all around the United States, but they were born and raised right here in Louisiana, in Palmetto, from what I understand.
Yep.
But Keith and Ginger Myers head up the company, and they do a really wonderful job. They've expanded the company. For its stockholders, it's been a wonderful experience. I'll have to say that.
$14 is what it opened at, and today it's around $45 a share.
And that's the mark of a good company, a good, well-run company. If their stock has continued to go up.
Some companies are struggling, and they're continuing to grow.
They are continuing to grow. That's right.
Good management, good people, good Cajun mixture, that gumbo it takes to run a business. They mix that gumbo every day over there.
That's right, and they've got a great
staff. I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about the gumbo idea.
The spirit.
The spirit.
They've got a great staff. You can visit one of their locations on Heather Drive. That is Louisiana Hospice and Palliative Care, and right next door, right there, of course, Louisiana Family Fitness Center. And go in and get in shape. So Louisiana Healthcare Group.
Okay, we have some more pictures. Let's go to some more pictures if you don't mind, please.
Sure.
Palace Cafe.
Palace is good. We can bring that up.
Muff Carrier. Everybody knows Muff Carrier, I think, around Opelousas. He's on that little scooter. He had the scooter parked outside. And just well-known celebrity and a character at the same time. A couple of years older than me, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a little family that was sitting next to where we were sitting Saturday morning, and I just had to get a picture. Could see the, I don't know, look at the little boy, look the little boy on the right. Look at that little kind-eye look on him. That's a true little Cajun.
Seems like they all got their LSU shirts on.
Oh, yeah. And the picture, Kenny is the father, all the way on the left. Then
Carrie.
Carrie.
That's what it looks like.
Yep. And then Chloe, and then Carter. Carter would be the youngest one. And I said, well, where do you all live? Carrie.
Kenny? Oh, Carrie Venable.
Carrie. Yeah, that's an R.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All K's, I noticed that. I did notice that. I did comment to that. She said, you're right, Mr. Bobby. She says, well, you ever hear of Albert and Annie's grocery store? I said, I used to go there a lot when Sheriff Zarang was the sheriff. We'd get invited to lunch there, pretty darn often. She says, well, the store is still open. It may be one of the sons that's running it, but it's changed hands. Albert and Annie are still there, but in retirement. And anyhow, a nice young family. Wish them well, and thank you all for posing and letting me interrupt your breakfast.
There you go.
And then I also learned something else while I was sitting there. Someone came up and mentioned to us that Mr. Ira Tate, who was very active, and he's a former commander of the Opelousas VFW post in Opelousas. And well, it was Muff Carrier that knew about it. Mr. Ira is now residing in the Mamu nursing home.
Okay.
And his wife said he's doing well, but needs more help than you can receive at home. So let's keep Mr. Ira. He devoted a lot of his time in the military itself, and then active in the VFW post, and anything that moved out there, it looked like he was always in attendance.
Right.
Enjoyed my morning. If you looking for a place to eat breakfast in the morning, Palace Cafe is certainly a good choice, and you're going to help the place stay open. Here, some of the workers that were working that day, and then you notice Century 21,
right
DCG Realty. That's one of my entities. That's my building right here, and our broker is Raymond Aguilar, and does a real good job. We have some fine people. I mean, you turn your property over, or you turn your needs over to one of our agents, they're going to find you something. They're going to either sell your property or they'll help you buy some property, all in good, honest to goodness, do business.
Sure.
Century 21, Opelousas and in Eunice.
You know who else does good, honest business is Targill over in Opelousas. You can see Ted Bellard over at Targill. You probably won't see him, but Ted Bellard is responsible for Targill. Located on Wartell Avenue in Opelousas. Any kind of spice you're looking for to blend, bottle yourself, they can help it. They can help you out with that. Right now is a really good time for businesses to send these little bottles of seasoning out for Christmas presents or for Christmas gifts to their clients. And Targill is a one-stop shop for that. They'll blend it for you. They'll let you choose between the recipes, and you can send it out with your name on it, your own personalized brand of seasoning. Visit them online at www.targill.com or go see them in person over on 229 Wartell in Opelousas.
What about the other young man that I had, Jeff, with two people in the picture?
Get back to that.
That was in the Palace.
Right here. There you go.
Nope. That's not the picture. But that is James LaFleur on the right, the little short man that I mentioned to last week's. To
Warren?
Warren.
Well, you got a bunch of history lessons last week.
Yeah, and James is on the Creole. He is.
Warren's the authority on the Cajun. James on the Creole.
On the Creole. That is correct.
Yeah, both big history lessons.
Then there's another picture with two young men.
Sorry about that, Dylan. Let's see, I'll find that for you.
I don't remember what day that was.
Was that at the Palace?
Yeah, it's the Palace. But
okay, well, while I look for these, you can pull something else out there.
Well, we have one death notice and that's Mr. Leland Zarang. It shows Orneville here. Imagine that's where he was residing, and he belonged to St. Francis Regis Catholic Church in Orneville. He's 83 years young, and I had not seen Leland in a long time, but he was Mr. If you had any problems with a sewing machine, he was Mr. Repairman, and he was an authority and a very humble guy, and retired from Sears, where he worked over 33 years.
Wow.
Long time, but well known amongst all of us Cajun folks. My deepest sympathies on his recent death.
There we go.
And you weren't able to find that picture?
You were talking about Mr. Leland, so I pulled him up so I couldn't look for the picture while we were doing that.
All right.
So I'm still looking.
How about the young men that went over to Angola for a day's trip? And that was October the 25th, a couple of weeks ago. And one of our new Opelousas Alderman, Tyron Glover, organized this event, and approximately 140 young men, ages 5 to 7, and 20 adults visited the state penitentiary for their Angola rodeo during the month of October. Every weekend there's a big event, and Captain Clay Higgins served as a chaperone. He, along with Crime Stoppers, donated T-shirts for the young men to wear, and Krotz Springs Mayor Carol Snyder, hello Carol, donated a charter bus for the trip.
Well, there you go.
How about that? That's mighty nice. And from what I understand, there were even some inmates from the Opelousas St. Landry Parish area that came and talked to all this group. And that's what you call on-the-job training.
That's right.
And advising these youngsters to keep the straight path and watch who you associate with, and don't try to take shortcuts on getting something that you don't have the money. Please don't get it out of somebody's storeroom or yard. Right. It'll get you in a lot of trouble, and you'll end up remembering that day that you spent over there. You went over there to enjoy yourself, but also for a very good...
An eye-opener.
Eye-opener, good lesson.
That is correct. I think I found that picture you're talking about.
Jeff Joffrion on the right, when he graduated from LSU several years back, he came to work at Dupre Carrier Gacho, his first job after college. He left us, moved over to work with maybe the Aetna for a while, Aetna insurance, group insurance, health insurance, and today he's a partner in the Benefit Advisory Group, LLC, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And good seeing Jeff and learning that he's been well and doing well. And I can't think, do you recognize, I can't think of your name. I apologize. God, y'all call me when y'all see the picture Thursday morning or Sunday afternoon or whenever you see it. Call me and give me the name. I'm stuck.
Yep. Now, before we go to break, you got one more picture you took at the palace, and I like this one. I think this one's funny. There you go.
Yeah,
Miss Estelle Perot.
And she's pointing her finger.
Still
and
fussing at you.
Still fussing at me. I was her student, Chemistry 101.
Yeah.
And that was in 1955. And my lab partner was Alfred Richard with the Thrifty Way Pharmacy on West Landry Street. He's been there just about his whole career. When he came out of college, I don't know if he probably worked for somebody for a short period, but I don't even remember that. That's how long he's had his own business, very successful business. And he was my partner. We sat two to a work station.
Right, area,
And she was my teacher, and she was pointing her finger at me then and still. And we were raised, I was raised about 2 blocks from where she is.
Yeah.
She's 90 years young.
Now you can't tell.
And her
She's
mama,
sharp as a tack.
her mama lived to 102.
She is sharp as a
she's
tack.
still in the old family home where, and I was, the schoolhouse separated where I lived and where they lived. block apart.
I've done a lot of things over the years with Estelle, and she's always impressed me.
Genealogy, she's just an authority, a good authority.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean it in a bad way, in a very good way. And also the library.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
They work hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Work hand in hand.
And you won't meet a more spunky person than Estelle.
Yeah,
I'll tell you. She's a firecracker.
And I was able to treat her breakfast. Boy, that made her day.
Well, I'm glad.
Well, you know, I thought about it. I called the little waitress over. I said, get that ticket over there. She says, she always pays. I said, get that ticket over there. I'm paying for it. Her student is paying for it.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know what? We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with the fourth quarter, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the fourth quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, along with my sidekick here, Matt LeBlanc, and our tech man, what's his name? Dylan?
I guess.
Is he Dylan, the bad machine gun man?
Well, you got you got Matt, and then you got Dylan in there. So
Yeah, Matt Dillon. We got them both. I'm caught. I'm in between. The gunfire's going to get me. Talking about that, wasn't that a sad, sad incident that took place in Marksville, Louisiana?
Yeah.
That was really, really sad. It keeps unveiling itself. It's more and more and more information coming out. It was just a sad thing, and I guess we just need to ask the people that have the authority and a license to carry these weapons as an officer to just please be careful, because you can not only hurt somebody else, but it's going to hurt you mentally
absolutely.
for the rest of your life. Can you imagine getting into an incident with a grown man, and then here's a 6-year-old child sitting strapped down, you know, in the seat, and gets shot, I think, 5 times. I mean, you know, I don't know, 18 shots estimated.
Really?
Shot during that one thing by the 2 law officers. The other man supposedly didn't even have a pistol with him.
I haven't heard much
pistol
about the story.
or rifle or anything else for that matter. So I don't know.
Jeez.
It just, we all have to be careful of, I have to be careful of what I say here. It's my responsibility to be careful of how I talk about people and about things and about instances. And I'm kind of slow in talking about this, but just, it's home. It's not Chicago this happened. It's not California. It's not New York City. It's right an hour from Opelousas, Louisiana.
Yep.
And so it hits hard, and it's gonna ruin some lives.
No, sure.
Forever.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Held you back.
No, absolutely. We wanted to remind you also about St. Landry Homestead in Opelousas. Earlier, you were dressed up as Santa, and you told me that you only do it once a year for the Cerebral Palsy Clinic, but you used to do it for Mr. Harold Fontenot over at St. Landry Homestead.
Oh, he'd call me, and he'd tackle me, and I knew as soon as the conversation got going, I'd look at my watch, and I'd say, uh-oh, today is November. He's calling to tell me what day they're having, if I can make it. If I couldn't make it, he'd change the date of the party. But anyhow,
Mr. Harold did a wonderful job there.
Yeah.
And he was succeeded by somebody that's also doing a wonderful job for St. Landry Homestead.
Kip Bertrand.
That's right. Yeah. Excellent run company. Opelousas, Eunice, Port Barre. For all your banking needs, visit St. Landry Homestead. Check them out online for all the digital stuff they can offer you. www.stlandryhomestead.com.
Okay, Blaine Guillory and his little lady friend, Miss Connie, came by to visit Sunday. And, of course, he has the Brick and Spoon restaurants. He's franchising that company name out. And the Lafayette location is doing real good.
Yep.
Cody and Wilder, my brother and sister-in-law, went a couple of times, and they had to wait 30, 40 minutes. But it's worth waiting for, apparently, because the
line, that means you're doing something right.
regular weekend occurrence, and they're getting ready to open within 4 to 6 weeks in New Orleans. That project should have been open, but the landlord that's building the building ran into some difficulties, and they're back on track and should be. And
Good
of
for
course,
Blaine. I wish him the best.
Yeah, and the place in Orange Beach, Alabama, it's knocking the socks off of them. I mean, they line up over there.
That's what I've heard.
Parking was a big problem, but they were able to solve that. They were able to get a big empty lot, and it's really, really doing well. Vicky and her friends had gone over, and they went there twice while they were there, 3 days, and twice they ate there. So anyhow,
good for Blaine.
Glad for Blaine and his family. It's a family affair, like you say. And then I want to call about my sweet potatoes. I got another note here on get order my sweet potatoes.
And don't forget about Steve.
Steve,
wants you to get
Steve,
some.
you bet.
Checked on those sweet potatoes a couple of times.
And one other thing is the annual Woodman Life chapter number 47. Has a scholarship program, and it's named after Huey Bork. Huey sold for Woodman Life Insurance Society, and they named a scholarship, and applicants have to have at least 30 to 90 hours of credits to apply, and applications have to be submitted before November the 24th, and the banquet to honor the scholarship winner of this year will be held December 5th at the Woodman of the World Hall at 309 West Bellevue Street. That's right in the back of Dupre Carrier Gacho, just to give you an idea of where you're looking for. If you need more information, Ken Thibodeau at 942-2736. Be happy to help you like he has for every year. And kind of in line with this particular, I attended a 10 o'clock Mass at St. Andrew Catholic Church this past Sunday. After Mass, I spoke with Pearlie Woodson, better known as Shorty. And of course, he never was Shorty. He doesn't know where the family gave him the name of Shorty, because he's probably 6'1" or 2. But anyhow, he told me, he says, Huey Bork's mama. And I said, well, we just talked about Huey. He said, I know you did. That's why I'm telling you that. He says, I know you graduated from high school with Huey. Huey was our class president. And of course, his wife, Pat, was one of our classmates, and graduated in 1955. But getting back to Huey Bork's mama, Miss Lucille, she, according to Pearlie, she's the oldest living Woodson to his knowledge. She's 99 years young, and she is the wife of the late Mr. Lewis Bork. And they also raised a nephew of theirs, George Bork, just like their own son. So Huey and George were raised together, and of course George was one of our state high school boxing champions.
That's where I know the name.
That we awarded the Hall of Fame award to in 2013, I think it was, or 2014, one or the other.
I remember the name.
Yep. Lives down on the bayou down there, Golden Meadow, if I'm not mistaken, or right in that area. So anyhow, a little information to pass on to you about the Woodson family.
Well, we're going to roll a little bit right here because you got some pictures you want to show, but I want to tell you first about Quarters Casino and Travel Plaza north of Opelousas. Make sure you go see them over at Quarters Casino for some great fuel. You can get a Subway there. You can get some, they have the pizza there, and also plenty of slot machines for you to try your luck. And don't forget about El Pico de Gallo, authentic Mexican restaurant. Now, you attended a birthday party.
Yep, for Mr.
So we're going to kind of roll through some of these pictures here
Jim
for you.
Lopez, and it was held at the beautiful outdoor party hall, I guess you could call it, party room. And the young man on the right is the owner of that. He and his lovely wife, Miss Laurie. And Stevie Dupre is on the right. And
I like his shirt.
His brother, they're half brothers, but they were raised as brothers. Jim Lopez was the honoree, 70 years young.
Good for Jim.
And look how young he looks. And then on the left is yours truly, Bobby Dupre.
There you go.
And I want to thank everybody.
These.
Yeah, Ken and his wife and Miss her Her husband is Joe, the attorney, Gore,
Okay.
Dr. Gore's son's wife.
There you go.
And this is Miss Linda's husband, Louis. Louis, we were raised like first cousins. The Lewises sold more pecans to us than any other family. And this is Father Neri. He's saying the blessing before the meal. Father Neri, we all know him from the retreat house in Grand Coteau.
That's right.
And this is the oldest living aunt of the family, Jim and them's family, Miss Shake Snyder, and then that's Miss Dixie Huval, and Mr. I don't have a lot of pictures. I left both of my cameras. These were sent to me.
I'll just kind of go another as part of the blessing.
The man
there.
in the dark pants, the dark shirt, white hair, right about in the middle is Mr. Buddy Huval. Mr. Buddy is first cousin with Jim. It was a family affair. And we had a blast. And Babs, I didn't think I had a picture. That is the lady that planned all of it and did a beautiful, and that gumbo is award-winning gumbo.
I'm sure there's another picture of the same. And
we have to go. We're going to close with a prayer, a thought, maybe you want to call it. Here I am, Lord, ready to serve you in whatever way you desire. Lead me. God's call to a task includes his strength to accomplish it. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for listening. Tell a friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you. And thank you.